everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie coming back to you with another project. So today I want to make this file folder specimen card. And I'm just going to be using some craft cardstock. I've got a metal piece from Tim Holtz, which is the gauge frames. So I'm going to use one of those. It's actually going to be this one. And I'm also using one of Tim Holtz bugs. So I'm going to use this one. Put some alcohol ink on it. So this one, I did some alcohol ink on. You can see the coloring in there. I'm also going to be using this embossing folder from Tim Holtz, which is number 665753. I'm also going to be using part of chapter 3. I'm going to use the file folder die, so this one, and that is 665930, so that's this set. And then I have this botanical stamp set by Sam Poole, and this is Butterfly Walk. So I'm going to use just a few pieces off of here to stamp on it. And I've done some stitching, and I've added also some vintage gold metal wax. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my piece of cardstock. And this happens to be, let's see, 4, 6, 8. It's about 8.5 by 5.5. And I want to run it through the embossing folder first. So I'm going to just put this in here, and I'm also going to spray it with some water. Just to dampen it a little bit. It helps it go through a lot easier. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through my embossing machine, and then I will come right back and we'll continue. Okay, I've run that through the embossing machine. So it looks like this now. And the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and cut this out using the die. So I'm just going to place it on here about like that. And I'm going to go ahead and run that through the through my die cut machine, and then I will be right back. Okay, so now I have that all cut out. And so this is going to be my file folder. And I'm going to fold it right about there on the line. And that will end up being the outside of our file folder specimen card. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is give it some color. So I have some Distress Oxide Spray Stains. I have Vintage Photo. I have Frayed Burlap. I have Fossilized Amber. And I have Tumbled Glass. So I'm going to just put some of these on, shake them up really good, and give it some color. Starting out with some Vintage Photo. First I'm going to spray this a little bit, and then, let's see, just add some color here, and then I'm going to dry it. And you'll get the oxide effect as this is drying. Okay, and next I want to add some frayed burlap. Add just a little bit of water, and then I'll dry that. and just get it to whatever desired look you're looking for. No two are ever going to be the same, but these are just the colors that I chose and what I wanted to do with them. Okay, and I think I'll add some fossilized amber now, just in a few places. Here, down here, and let me add just a little bit of water, and I'm going to dry that. And you'll see how it's kind of turning a little bit of a grayish blue here. And now I'll use some of the tumbled glass. Check that up. And I'm just going to add some in a couple of different areas. And then I'm just going to dry it. And some of it will turn a little bit green because of the colors on below it, but I'm not too worried about that. I just want the different colored effect of what I'm trying to do to get some coloring in here. And then I want to turn it over because I want to get a little bit up in here of what we're going to see when this is folded up. So I'll add just a little bit of water and a little bit of vintage photo. Just like that. Just to give it some coloring. We'll be distressing it with some of the darker color, the ground espresso, but I just want to add just a little bit of color to this because this is, top part is what you'll see. So we'll dry that. So I'm going to let the rest of this dry on its own, and then I'm going to take my little bug and put it right here and do a little bit of alcohol ink on it. This is just some cheaper alcohol ink that I had gotten. I'm going to be using a clover color, which is kind of a green, a fuchsia, and a forget-me-not, which is like a blue. And I'm just trying, this kind of looks to me like a dragonfly, so I'm just trying to add just a little bit of color to it. So I'm just going to drop it on the various areas that I want it. And let's see, let's do the body. And then I'll just kind of let that dry a little bit. I use my tweezers and I'll move this around so we can see a little bit there. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a green on it. And so now I want to add just a little bit of this fuchsia color, I think, on the wings. So I'm going to put some here and here. And then I'm going to just tap it off a little bit with a alcohol ink pad, just to give it that color. And let that dry a little bit. It doesn't take long to dry, being alcohol. Just going to blow on a little bit. And then I'm going to add, actually, I think I want to stay with the green. So let's add a little bit more to this area and underneath here. Just kind of let that flow around it. And then we have this. So I'm going to just set that aside now and let that dry. So meanwhile, we can go back to our other piece. Should be dry now. And let's see what we've got. Let me move some of this paper away and put this aside. Okay, so when we fold this up, this is what we have. So looking at our sample, let's do a little bit of stamping, and then we'll do some stitching, and then we will do some of the gilding wax. So the first thing I want to do is stamp on this, and you can do it before you emboss it. I did not on the first one, and I don't want it to be real predominant, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to use the VersaFine, and this is Fallen Leaves, and I just want to get just a little bit of the script on here, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, just adding something just for you know, just so it looks different, something different out there. Okay, so we've got that, and then let's see, I want to do stamp on the tab. So let's go ahead and do that. That I used Specimen. Let's see, what did I do with my stamp? Oh, here it is. Okay. So let's put that on. So let's fold this up, and I'm going to put that right here. So let's open that back up and stamp on this and put it on here. Like that. And then just on a piece of coffee dye paper, I'm going to put the observation that I used. Just doing the same thing. And we'll put that on there, like that. And then I'm just going to use my decal inch trimmer and trim off the one end so it all matches. So let me get this in here, and we're just going to trim it. So I just made a little trim right down there. So this is also a Tim Holtz. If you don't have it, it makes a nice decal edge. You can see that right here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on using art glitter glue. And put that on the front, on the side, right about there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ink around this whole thing as well. And I'm using ground espresso for that. I want it to be much darker around all the edges. So I'm adding that. And I should have done this. So I'm just going to go ahead and just add a little bit there. That's fine. And continue on. I also want to add some of this in the center and darken that up a little bit. And all the way around the edges. And this you can either tuck into a pocket or you can glue it down, either way. I want to straighten that out. Press that down so it's even. So now we have that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and do some stitching. But before I do that, let's do some of the gilding wax. This is still feeling a little bit damp, so I'm going to just run my heat tool over a little bit and dry it just a tad more so it doesn't feel so damp. And on this embossing folder, there's actually a certain way you want to put it in so that you get that raised look on the top. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of do it first, because I have done it where it's not the right way. So I figured it was easier if I just did that first, and then that way I'd have it the right way. However, I decided to make the item. Okay, so let's do this. I want to add a couple of things. I want to add some white splatters to this, but I think I will do that after I stitch it. But I do want to go ahead and add some of this gold gilding wax. So this is just a metallic wax. It's by Art Alchemy. I have gotten it off of Amazon. And I'm just going to go over the numbers that are on here. Not perfectly. I'm just lightly brushing it over the raised part of the embossing folder, just to give it a little vintagey look. So like that. And then I want to do a little bit up here and down here. You can put as much on as you want to. And then in addition to that, I'm going to add some to this. So I'm just kind of putting it all over wherever I want it, spreading it around good, just to give it that older look, like that. So we've got some of that gilding wax on there now, so now it doesn't look so stark silver on there, and then that can dry. Get my hands off a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now is go ahead and do the stitching and get that done. So I will cover up my glue first. Do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the stitching on this, and then I will come right back and we'll continue on. So I'll be right back. Okay, I have all the stitching done. So I have stitched here and also across this, and then I've stitched up here as well. So now I want to add some white splatters, and for that I am using the Dina Wakley Media Gloss Spray in white. So that's what I'm using. And I put some in a dish. I'm going to use my fan brush to give it some splatters. And that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and dry that. You can use acrylic paint, you can use gesso, watered down gesso, you can use this kind of gloss. Whatever you have, go ahead and use if you like the splatters. I like to have a little bit of splatters on it because I think it just draws out, makes the thing look, I don't know, just more interesting. Have all the different kinds of textures and things going on it. Okay, so let's take a look at our bug. Here's our bug. Pretty colorful. And here is our gauge with the gold on there. So now I want to go ahead and glue these items on. And I'm still going to use the Art Glitter Glue. This is pretty flat on the back, so it'll go on pretty easy, but you do need to press it down because it's uneven on the paper after the embossing. So I want to just center that right about there. And I'm just going to hold it down for a few seconds. Because of the embossing folder, things are not completely flat. So I'm just going to press it down and hold it. Good thing is that art glitter glue catches really easily and quickly. So that looks pretty good. Now let's put our bug on. And if you don't have these metal bugs, you can use, you know, a paper, something that you get from a digital, or anything else that you like. Now I'm just going to press that down. And there is our folder specimen card. I like the way it comes out. I like the gold on there. I like the stitching, the coloring in the bug. So we've got this one and then the one that I made previously. So hopefully you'll give this a try. It's very easy and simple to do, and if you don't have the file folder die, you don't need it. You can just create a square piece, add a tab onto the top. If you don't have the metal bugs, you can also use, again, paper like from a digital, or stickers, or anything else that you might have. What's nice about these is the fact that they're raised. Same with the gauges. So you don't have to use the gauges, but they are a lot of fun to use, and they do give it some depth. So I'll show it once again. Here's the one we just made. And here's the one I made previously. Okay, well, I hope you guys give this a try, and I'll figure out what I'm going to be doing on the next video, which will be on Wednesday. So you guys have a great day. God bless you all, and we'll see you next video. Bye.